Nice, easy breaths. Letting today kind of melt away. So long spine, shoulders drop back down and away. Eye gaze is either soft or closed. As we breathe, nice and easy breaths. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Catch your left wrist and bring it over to the right side. Look up past your ceiling towards the sky. Maybe let that right hand drift down and reach even further across. With the breath, lean back and open the chest and the heart. Continue to notice the breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Reach both hands up, interlace your fingers. Lay your head back and fall open. You can even keep your eyes closed here as you continue to connect the breath to the body. Reach up again, catch the right wrist up and off to the left side. Release the left hand and reach. Keep that hip plug down so you really find lots of space there. Look up and open the chest and heart. Back to center again, and now twist. Left hand on right knee, look up. So press that back hand up and look over the back shoulder, breathe. Reach both hands to sky. And twist to the other side. Come back to it again, reach up, and now forward. Hands and knees tabletop. Tuck your toes and let your belly drop down. When you exhale, round and curl, spine to sky like the rainbow. Do that again, tuck your toes, let your belly drop, tail reaches, chest open, look up. And exhale, round, curl, press away like a cat, stretch spine. You're going to continue to do that for maybe 3 to 5 more breaths. Cat and cow. We'll turn this into dancing lion, coming around to the top of your mat, dropping your hip flexors down, up and away the other side. Back into child's pose. So slow this down. This dancing lion is a nice, slow, easy dancing lion. Come forward, hip flexors, back and away. Child's pose, rest. And then reverse the direction. So come back to the left or the right, whichever way you were before. Child's pose, up. Hip flexors, maybe a quad stretch, maybe let your head try to touch your feet, and kind of come around a few more times in this position. Dancing lion, both ways. Tuck your toes and lift your hips, your first downward facing dog. Remember to bend your knees in down dog, and come up on your tiptoes for the first one. Melt the chest so that the tail is high and the crown is low. Shake your head yes. And invite anything into your life right now that helps to bring you to be the best version of yourself, that brings you peace, joy, love, and happiness. And then gently shake your head no, releasing what's not serving you anymore. Take both heels up, bend your knees, turbo facing dog, like you're ready to jump to the top of your mat, but don't jump just yet. And then walk your dog out by straightening out the right leg, pressing through the heel, keeping the left knee bent. And then at your pace, you'll kind of pedal your feet opposites. And when you do this, you really feel a nice stretch up the back of the Achilles and the calf. And so you're going to continue to do this in opposites. Nice. And breathe. Come to the top of your mat. So walk your feet up to the top of your mat. Feet are hip distance apart. And go ahead and hang in a forward fold ragdoll head. Bend your knees here as well. Maybe take a little bit of a sway from side to side. If you have a block, use it. If not, you can use a textbook. Put your right hand down, bend your right knee, and take left hand to hip for a twist. Reach hand to the sky, and open up and look up. Breathe. And then switch sides, left hand down, left knee bends, right hand to hip, and we twist again. And look up if that's good for your neck. If not, you can look down. Release both hands down. Move the block out of the way if it's there, and then roll up to standing and take a back bend. Top of your mat, hands to heart center. Sun salutation A. Inhale, reach to the sky. And exhale, fold to the earth. And the knees here. Inhale, lengthen halfway out. And exhale, plant your palms and walk back to plank position. See how long we can hold this strong plank. Press the heels back, press the floor away. Breathe. Let's go from plank to down dog to measure out. So in plank, if we move back into downward facing dog, the feet are hip distance apart, we bend if we need to, and then we slide forward to plank, shoulders over wrists, for a perfect position. Do that a few times, waking up the core. Inhaling and exhaling from down dog to plank. If this is too much, the knees come down and we turn this into cat-cow like we did before. That's your choice. Plank to down dog. Nice. And now make your way up back to the top of your mat. You can either walk your feet or you can make a big jump or step. Inhale, lengthen halfway, look hands to shins or thighs. Exhale and fold. And then inhale, rise again with a back bend this time. And hands to heart center. Inhale, reach to the sky. And exhale, fold. Bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, lengthen, look out. This time, jump back to plank or just walk back. So if you want to add power, you add power. From here, we're either going to lower down to cobra or up dog. So option one, take the knees down all the way to your belly. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, and curl the chest open, cobra pose. Exhale, press up and over, downward facing dog. Option two is upward facing dog instead of cobra. So you choose whichever one you want now, either a second cobra or an up dog. So come forward. If you can, lower down and hover. Then roll to the toes, lift up. And if not, the knees tap and the belly stays down. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. Let's lift the right leg up and open hip on hip and find some space here. Make some circles, find some space. And breathe. Knee to nose and step through low lunge. Spin your back heel and let's rise straight up to warrior one. Bending into the front knee lunge and opening the chest and the heart. Notice the back foot is about 45 degrees pressing through the outside edge. First balancing pose, hands come to heart center, halfway down and hover. Feel the strength in your core. Either stay here or float the back leg up for warrior three. Arms can stay at your heart or they can come out to airplane pose. We breathe here for about 10 count, 5 breaths. And then float back to warrior one with control. Beautiful. Straighten out your front leg and then step your back foot a little bit closer. Hands on your hips and come forward. Forward fold. Once again, the block or the book is optional here. It might feel better for you to come up a little bit higher. If you need to, you can also come up on the back tiptoe. We want to bring the chest low. So if you can reach for the floor, do that. If you need to bring the floor closer, then use the block. And breathe. Step your feet together, top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway out. Exhale, fold. Sit back, chair pose. Tuck in the pelvis, chair pose. And stand tall. Hands to heart or hands to your sides, mountain pose. And find the breath here. Inhale, sweep to the sky. And exhale, fold to the earth. Bend the knees. Inhale, lengthen, press out. Vinyasa your way. So hands come down, we step back to plank. Either the knees tap or they don't. Lower down all the way or halfway. Cobra or up dog. Exhale, back. Downward facing dog. Left leg reaches for the sky and opens. And we find some space there. Maybe make some circles. Kick out the foot a little bit. Wiggle the toes. Now bring the knee to the nose. Step it all the way through in between your hands. Spin your back heel 45 degrees about, and then rise up, rooting down to rise up, warrior one. Sinking into front knee lunge, breathe. First balancing pose, hands come to heart, we lean forward. So it's on the left side first time. Stay right here, float the back leg for warrior three. If you need to hold on to something, you can. Arms can come out. Try to keep the hips squared down and pressing through the back heel. Little bit of up dog, so open the chest and the heart just a little bit. With control, float back to warrior one. Arms rise, straighten out the back front leg, and then step the back foot closer, hands to hips. Hips are square, and we come forward halfway. Little micro bend in the front knee, maybe come up on the back toes, finding the earth, a block, or a book for forward fold over that left leg. Pyramid pose. Step the back foot up to meet the front foot. Inhale, halfway out. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose again. And let's sink a little further into the chair and then halfway and maybe up on the tiptoes. Floating chair pose. Maybe reach the hands back like you're downhill skiing. Breathe. And then reach to the sky, stay on your tiptoes. And then heels come down, hands come down, mountain pose. Tree pose on the right side. Hands to heart, knee to chest. Curl your toes up. And now find tree either inside the inner thigh, below the knee, or tap the floor. Variation in the arms. Reach the hands behind you, grasp opposite elbows. And open the heart. And breathe. Arms come out, knee to chest. And step down, hands down to your sides. Doing the other side, hands come to heart, left knee to chest, curl the toes up. Open out the foot and the knee, either inner thigh, below knee, or earth. This time, if that was really easy for you to connect the hands, maybe you want to do namaste behind you if you have space for that. Reverse namaste, that's a lot. If it's too much, don't do it. If you can't quite grasp, then just reach behind you like you're trying to. And breathe. Open the chest, open the knee. Stand tall in the standing leg. Breathe. Yogis, if thoughts are coming in, allow them to come. Notice what they are, but come right back to where we are, especially in the balancing posture. Stay right in the moment. Your eye gaze is in front of you at the earth. Hands come out to your sides like a T. Knee comes back to chest. We step down top of your mat. Inhale, reach to the sky. And exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, lengthen, look out, walk, step, jump, or float. Your vinyasa here. Lower down, slow and controlled. Upward facing dog or cobra. And we exhale back. Downward facing dog. Right leg reaches and opens. This time, pay attention. That right knee is going to tap the left elbow, cross the body, and then send the foot down to the floor. So you're making a scissor. The right hand stays down on the floor, and we open up. Left leg stays back. Right leg is forward. Left arm reaches. Beautiful. Breathe. Left hand down, scissor push up one time, or just hold this. Back to down dog. We'll do the same thing on the left side. Left leg reaches. Left knee to right elbow. Kick the foot forward. We stay left hand down, this time right hand up. Scissor the legs. Breathe. Hands come down, either hold here or take a scissor push up, right back to downward facing dog. Breathe. Beautiful. Come forward to plank position. Right hand moves to center, right knee can come down or doesn't have to. We open up side plank. If the knee's down, maybe lift the leg up, maybe take a bind here and reach for a stretch. If the knee's not down, take any variation of side plank that you like. So maybe you're taking tree, just don't put it in the knee joint. Maybe you're taking starfish. Your choice. Meet me back in plank. Press back to downward facing dog. Option for child's pose, you might need a rest. Knees down, sit back, or take some push-ups here. Finding some strength in your practice. So rest or strength, you choose. Wherever you are, come back to your breath before we head into the left side plank. So either tabletop, left knee down, or full side plank on the left side. Again, you can lift the leg. Maybe you want to reach for a quad stretch and shoulder opener, or maybe you're coming into the full side plank with variations of your choosing. And breathe. Finish in plank, press back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Child's pose, rest. Maybe take your hands, slide them through your legs, face down on the forehead. Maybe you reach your hands behind you for your heels. Or maybe you're coming in for more push-ups if you're making this a stronger workout today. So yogi's choice. Meeting in downward facing dog again. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Right leg reaches for the sky. Open up hip on hip. And now bring the foot in between your hands. Low lunge. And then we're going to spin the back heel and cartwheel the hands, opening up to warrior two. Arms are open like a T. Arms are strong, hands are strong. Hips are forward, but knees facing out where the big toe is. Pressing through the outside edge, sinking down. Wide stance. Pump warrior one time. So straighten out the leg, reach out, and then right back in, deep into that front knee lunge, but not going past the ankle. Flip the palm and reach out, and then sweep the sky, exalted warrior. And breathe. Warrior two again, just the arms move. Side angle pose, hand to ankle, heart is open, or maybe forearm to thigh. Or maybe you take a bind, either half or full bind, or maybe you're taking a bird of paradise if that's in your practice. So again, yogi's choice, wherever you are. Gently coming back through warrior two. And then pump warrior one time. Hands on your hips, both feet face forward. And now forward fold, halfway down. Just halfway. The right hand comes down, left hand to hip with a twist. Reach to the sky. Both hands come down on the earth. We walk out just the hands, press into the hips back, melt the chest, hammock pose. Bend the knees if it's appropriate here. Let the head hang heavy. Gently slide the left hand underneath and the right hand comes to hip before we take a twist. Both hands come down, walk behind you. Maybe the head touches the earth, bend the knees if appropriate here. Find lots of stretch in the back of the hamstrings and the glutes. And breathe. We'll come halfway up, all the way up. Reach to the sky and take a back bend. Hands interlaced behind your head. Arms come out to a T. We turn the left foot and knee open. Warrior two on the left side. Find the strong pose here. Pressing to the outside edge of the back foot. Sinking in, hips open, shoulders open, square. And now one big pumping warrior inhale. And exhale right back in, warrior two. Flip your front palm and reach. And then sweep the sky. Look up or back. And sink into front knee. Keep those hips open and breathe. Warrior two again, side angle pose. Forearm to thigh, or maybe hand to a block, or a wrap or a bind. So again, your choice here. And we'll come back to warrior two using the strength of our legs. Hands to your hips, straighten out your front leg. Turn your left toes in, both feet are facing forward again. Wide stance fold with a back bend. Interlace your fingers behind you, or maybe just energetically reach. Bend the knees a little bit, and then forward fold. Let the arms come up and over your head. Beautiful. If it's too much, release the hands. Whatever works. And into the left knee and up on the right heel, Skandasana. Trying to get this back heel to touch also. If it works, it works. If not, that's okay. You can also sit on a block or a book here if it's too much for you to take the pose. We want to try to get that front heel down and pull away. You can take a bind here, half or full. Open the arms. You can stay on the block or off. And then up and over for the other side. Skandasana. Pull away from the leg. Try to get this heel down. Breathe. Coming from here right into squat now. So maybe bring the feet a little bit closer together and come into a squat. If squat, again, doesn't feel right, you can have a seat on your mat or a seat on your block. Practicing crow pose, go ahead and grab a pillow for your head. Hands are wide like starfish, as wide as you can, and they're right in front of you, taking up lots of space on the mat or on the floor. Inhale, lift your hips, come high on your tiptoes. Look forward past your fingertips on the floor, and then gently bend your knees to tap the triceps. Lean forward, keep the toes down, look forward. Toes stay down, or maybe one toe flirts with the coming off the floor. Maybe both feet come off for a second, and then we come back down to squat. So yogis, play with that for just a few moments. Use the pillow for your head. If it's too much, have a seat, knees apart, inbound angle, or if that's too much, just take a seated forward fold. So you're either practicing crow pose, maybe you're practicing crow jump backs, or maybe you're practicing crow to headstand if that's in your practice. And if not, we're just resting. Another option is just to sit and find the breath. So those of you that are practicing crow or anything else, go ahead and do that. And the rest of us find the breath. We're going to finish standing at the top of your mat. So however you want to get there, we're going to end up at the top of your mat when you're done playing around. Top of our mat, mountain pose. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Walk, step, jump, or float to plank. Take the knees to tap, cobra, or lower down, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg reaches to the sky. We open hip on hip. The knee comes through. We step through. Rise up, warrior two. We've been here before. Straighten your leg and straighten your arms, pumping warrior. Arms come out to your sides. If you have a block, use it. If not, hand comes to thigh or below knee, but not on the kneecap for triangle pose. Legs are straight. Back foot's facing forward. Front foot's facing the top of our mat. Again, if you have a block, find it on its highest. If you'd like to work a little harder this class, then just take both hands out for obliques. And exalt the triangle, reach back. This feels wonderful, opening up the whole side body. Breathe. We come back for a second triangle on the right side. So every yogi is about to try the next posture, which is called half moon. We basically take the same shape of this triangle and just tip it over. So the back leg lifts up and the front leg straightens out. The front hand reaches forward. And then we just tip it over and lift the back leg. Lift the leg more than you think you need to, because that takes gravity out of the pose. Reach the hand for the sky. Option is stay in the triangle if this is too much, or maybe you even want to reach for the foot and find a stretch here. and breathe. We'll all meet back in Warrior Two, bending into the front knee and finding the posture in Warrior Two. Pumping Warrior One time, turn it around. Warrior Two on the left side, pump one time, straight leg triangle, arms come out, hip goes back, and we tip it over for triangle pose. Beautiful. Maybe you float the triangle. And we exalt. And open up the side rib cage here, breathe. Second triangle again. And again, perhaps using the block or the book. Opening up the posture even more. And we tip over for half moon. Hand comes out just a little bit. And we lift the leg higher than we think we need to for half moon. Maybe reach behind for the bind. If that's too much, stay in the triangle. And breathe. And floating back, Warrior Two. Beautiful. Hands to your hips, straighten your legs. Dial both feet forward. Now you're in the wide stance fold. Take a little back bend here, letting the chest and the heart open, maybe letting the chin open. And then another forward fold. Bend the knees if appropriate. Hands come to the outside edges of your feet, or maybe the big toes. Using the strength of your biceps, using the arms to pull yourself down, gently lifting your hips high, bending your knees as much as you can or need to. And then we'll inhale, lengthen, turn to the front of your mat again. Step back to plank and either find child's pose or down dog, or maybe you take some more of those push-ups. You're working on strength. So you're either resting or working. And let's all meet seated at the back of our mat. Hands in our lap, or if you're not comfortable sitting on your feet like this, you can even sit like this and stretch out the bottoms of your heels, diamond pose. Or if that's too much, just come to seated at the back of your mat with your feet crossed and seated. So wherever you're comfortable, let's just sit for a moment. Keeping the right knee bent, right leg in, take the left leg out. Inhale, turn towards your left foot and forward fold over that leg. Do as much as you can. Maybe you reach for it. Maybe you reach up and over. So this is kind of like whatever feels good for you in this stretch. Keep trying to bring the nose down towards the knee if you can. And then inhale, lift up and switch sides. So the right leg comes out straight, the left knee comes in bent. We inhale, turn to the right, and then fold over that right leg. So again, at your discretion, how deep you want to come into this fold is the way you're going to go. When we finish, we turn this into a wide-legged fold straddle. Inhale, move some flesh out from underneath and sit up tall. Curl your toes in. If it's too wide and it's too much for you, shorten it up. If it's not wide enough and you need more, widen it out. And then we're going to just crawl forward, chin up, crawl forward as much as you feel comfortable. So maybe you're just on your hands, or maybe you're on your elbows, or maybe you're feeling like you're really flexible and you can even come down even further. But that's totally up to you and how you feel. Continue to breathe into that space that you're in right now. In that wide-legged fold. And then nice and easy, come up to seated and pull your legs into your chest, tuck your chin, head pose. Feet are hip distance apart. We're going to lower down all the way to our back. Let's do it on a 10 count. So imagine you're holding onto a rope here and go back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. You're about halfway. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands behind your head, feet together, knees apart. Hip opener, chin off your chest, and let's take about 15 crunches here. Chin off the chest, chest towards the sky, like you have a string on your sternum bringing you up. And let's release hands onto your belly and take a breath. Once again, noticing if thoughts are starting to come back, and then gently press them away. Nice, gentle, easy hip opener. Let's take another 15 crunches. You can do it. Try not to tug on your neck and lift your chin off your chest, and the sternum reaches to the sky. If this doesn't feel good for any reason, you can keep your legs up or straight. It might be too intense for your hips, or you just might not like the way it feels. Let's all bring the knees into the chest, hug it in. Tuck your chin into a tiny ball, maybe make circles on the sky. And then let's lift the legs straight up to the sky. That's up the wall, imaginary wall. And then we'll do another 15 crunches, fingers to toes. 1, 2, chin up, chest. 3, 4, 5, 6. You can even put your hands behind your head. And then hands come underneath your bottom. And we're going to take the legs down about 45 degrees. Open and close scissors for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Release. Take your hands, reach up and feet down. Back bend, last pose before we finish. Feet hip distance apart. Take your fingertips and see if you can graze your heels with your fingertips. And then all we're going to do is look straight ahead, chin off chest, and then lift the hips. We might want to come up on the tiptoes. And if you can reach the hands together underneath you, maybe you can scoot the triceps to the mat and the shoulder blades to touch. And lift up the chin, look straight ahead. Gently release the hips and let both legs fall to the left, and you look to the right, arms open like a T. Bring the knees up and over, look to the left, knees to the right, spinal twist. Second back bend of your choice, either another bridge like we just did, or maybe you put your hands by your shoulders and press up to full wheel back bend if that's in your practice. If not, we'll take a second bridge. And so the feet are hip distance apart, the fingertips graze the heels, and then we lift. Maybe we scoot, and if you need more space, tiptoes. Chin up chest, look straight up, breathe, breathe, breathe. Feel the back bend, breathe. And then gently release, and more spinal twisting from right to left. Yogis, if there's any other posture that you'd like to play around with or finish up with, please do that now. And if not, we'll take our hands to our belly or to the earth, feet are hip distance apart, and they're just super soft flowing out. We shake the head gently now, getting any last little bit of tension out of the head and neck. Release the jaw, relax the muscles of the face and the eyelids, and just notice the breath. Stay right where you are, completely surrender to the earth. If that's not comfortable for you for any reason, you can come to seated. But if you're comfortable laying down on your back, finishing up our practice in our final pose. Always coming back to the breath, letting it be the guide, the anchor. Noticing if there's any tension anywhere in the body right now, doing a scan of the body from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. If thoughts come, let them come, especially now that we've stopped moving our body. Sometimes the thoughts come in, just allow them to gently float away. Continuing to breathe deeply. Noticing if there's tension being held anywhere in the face. And then when you're ready, you can roll to your right side, curl your knees into your chest, hug yourself into a tiny little ball. I invite you either to stay right where you are, enjoying this last few moments of your practice, curled up into a tiny, comfortable ball on your mat, or if you're more comfortable coming up to seated, you can do that. Discover life's rhythm. Step into the natural rhythm of your life. You don't need to push through anything. You don't have to push yourself, life, or the energy flow. If you get tired, take a break. Take a walk. Take in the energy of the world around you. Listen to birds sing. Hear the laughter of a child, the warm smile of a friend, the breeze blowing in the wind. If you get stuck or tangled up in any of your thoughts or emotions or the world around you, don't try to force the solution. Back off, breathe, until an answer emerges naturally from that place of peace and natural instinct within you. Step out of your tension, out of any fear, any anxiety, any worry. Lighten up and loosen up. Change your energy. Take a breath and relax until you find the flow. Relax until you find your rhythm and until you feel life's rhythm line up with you again. And step into the rhythm of your life. If you're still laying down, I invite you to stay as long as you need to stay. And if you're ready to come to seated and finish practice, then come to seated and finish practice. Thank you so much for joining me in this yoga flow. The light in me honors the light in you.